Life is what you make it. All right, that's good. What about experience is the best teacher? Very good. Well, did you know that it was the late, great Roman leader Julius Caesar who first coined this phrase centuries ago? When he said, experience is the teacher of all things. Now, what that saying means to me is that all the experiences that I've had all help to make me what I am today. You know, I can remember being in the 5th grade and having this eager, energetic, and enthusiastic quest for knowledge. Meaning, I would question everyone and everything. In fact, I can recall asking my mom so many questions that she went out and purchased this children's book of questions and answers, right? No lie. I think it was to satisfy my curiosity, but later I thought in my adult life, maybe it was to maintain her sanity while I kept busy searching for answers in silence. But nonetheless, what I discovered later was that neither this book or any other book for that matter could ever replace my own personal experiences gained from life's lessons. So tonight's speech is all about learning from life's lessons and living in the now. In the late 19th century, a Russian novelist by the name of Leo Tolstoy wrote a short story in the form of a parable that he entitled The Three Questions. The Three Questions parable concerns a king who desperately wants to find the answers to what he considers are the three most important questions in life. Only in the end to discover that all the answers that he's looking for are already on the inside of himself. So tonight, I'd like to inspire you by asking you those same simple but challenging, thought-provoking three questions. The first question that the king wanted to find the answer to was, when is the best time to do things? Now, if you're anything like me, you probably Google every question that comes to mind, right? The chances are that this search will yield answers to questions like this. When is the best time to buy a new car, book a cruise, or even when to buy new furniture? While all these things are great in themselves, the reality of this search reveals a lot about us. It says that we put more values and emphasis on efficiency, right timing, and planning what's next and what's ahead, so much so that we forget to live each and every day to the fullest. Occasionally, when I would get too far ahead of myself, my mother would gently remind me and pull me back in by saying, son, don't forget to smell the flowers. In other words, appreciate the beauty of right now, this present moment. I've since learned that the present is saying I love you to those that are nearest and dearest to your heart, because you never know when you may see them or talk to them again. It's in showing kindness to a stranger because you never know when you may need a friend yourself. It's in letting go of yesterday when things didn't go so right. It's in those tiny moments of the present that we truly milk the honey out of life. So learn to be present in the present. The second question that the king wanted to find the answer to was, who is the most important one or person? Now, if you ask different people, you'll probably get different answers to this question. If you ask a group of scholars, chances are you're going to get a historical person of significance like Plato, Socrates, Da Vinci, or maybe even Thomas Edison. Ask the average working class person that same question and they'll probably tell you that it's the Pope or the president or possibly the person who holds the most influence over their paycheck, their boss or their supervisor. However, for an entirely different perspective, one reflecting a person who's determined to live their life in the now, or right now in this present moment, ask that question to a mother of a newborn child. Better, ask that question to soldiers who have recently been deployed to fight overseas with a band of brothers that he or she barely knows. Ask that question to the people of Haiti or Japan who, not too long ago, just experienced devastation and destruction by the drones. I'm sure they'll all tell you that the most important one or person is the person that you're with at that moment. And that person demands, deserves, and needs your undivided attention. The third and final question that the king wanted to find the answer to was, what is the right thing to do? And for this question, I'd like to share a very personal story from my own childhood about one influential, instrumental human being in my life. He's been my mom's best friend my entire life, and I like to think of him as my go-to guy. He was there when I learned how to ride my bike, mow the lawn, tie my first necktie, shoot my first basket, and the list goes on and on and on. Time and time again, he showed me that the right thing to do was to sacrifice yourself to help someone else, giving yourself at that very moment in that particular opportunity, because when that opportunity passes itself, you'll never get it back again. And he was always present whenever I needed him. So how do you learn from life's lessons and live in the now? By learning to be present where you are and giving your all to whatever you're currently doing. By understanding that knowledge comes from experience, not just information. And by remembering the answers to the three most important questions. The most important thing to do is to always do good to the person that you're with. The right thing to do, or the most important one, is the person that you're with at that moment. And the best time to do things is always in the now, or at that present moment. So dedicate all your efforts to living in the now. It's the only time that matters. It's the only time there is. Thank you.